One of the most powerful and impactful learning experiences that I've ever had in my professional career didn't actually involve formal training. I was about 4 to 5 years into my career and I was working at a pretty good sized company in Chicago. We had offices all over the world and close to 2,000 employees who did all sorts of different jobs. We had executives, marketing folks, supply chain engineers, all the way to manufacturing employees in places like Mexico and China. As many companies do, we had a company-wide employee survey that we would do every other year, which was a really big deal for the company. The results would end up in front of the executives, and there would be a lot of discussion about what the results meant and what to do about them. In order for this to be a worthwhile conversation, these executives needed to have a credible set of data summarized in a way that made sense and that truly represented the thoughts and opinions of all our employees across the globe. And all of this had to be done on a very specific timeline. Historically, this project had always been overseen by the directors of the HR department, which was the area where I worked. So one day my manager, one of those HR directors, came to me and said, "Tim, this year we're going to have you lead this entire project." I had been involved with this project in the past, but never led the entire thing. In fact, I had never led any kind of a project of this magnitude before. So the stakes were pretty high. The outcome could make a pretty big difference for both the company and for me as a professional. At first I was wondering, why in the world are you having me do this? Then my manager gave me a little bit more information. She told me that she wasn't just giving me this project because I was already the best person to do it. She was giving me this project because the process of completing it was going to help me build the skills required to manage a large project, and that these would be skills that I could then leverage in the future. And she didn't just stop there. She met with me initially to give me a sense of how the project had been managed in the past, and also to share some of the lessons learned that she had picked up along the way in her experience. She also gave me some resources, things like samples of things that had been used in the past or templates that I could use to get started. She also provided some pretty helpful introductions with some of the vendors that I would be using, and also let our internal stakeholders know that I was going to be the go-to guy for this project internally. In short, she gave me a vision of success for the project, gave me the resources I needed to get started, and then set me on my way. As I got started working on the project, she continued to check in with me pretty frequently and coach me whenever I had questions. And when I did have questions, she didn't just give me the answers, but she asked a lot of questions of her own to help me think through the process and the problems and challenges, and really challenged me to come up with the answers. Ultimately, when it was time to present the final results of this massive survey project to our executives, the overall survey project was not only a success in terms of meeting the objectives, but I had also gained some extremely valuable skills, the kind that I would never get from just attending a training class or reading a book or just talking to someone. These were skills that I had earned and truly honed through experience. The reason that I share this story is this: my entire career has been devoted to trying to understand how people learn and acquire new knowledge and skills, and then how they put those into action on the job. And in leveraging this information to try to help individuals and our business be as successful as possible. And I have to tell you, in everything that I've ever learned, nothing seems to beat a well-planned and well-executed developmental experience in helping people to actually develop those skills in a way that's going to help them put those into practice on the job. So as we think about the check-in conversations that we have coming up and how we can leverage those to help our team members grow their roles and expand their careers, I would encourage our managers to think about how they can use developmental experiences to help accomplish those goals. Over the next few months, we'll share additional videos that break down the processes of planning and managing developmental experiences. So whether you're a new manager and you haven't really done this with your team before, or if you're an experienced manager and you just like to pick up a few more tips and pointers, this will be some great resources right at your fingertips. Watch for these next videos in your email inbox and invest the time for yourself and your team to learn all you can about this.